Hi Aries, welcome to your Timeless Channel reading. Today I have the Starman Tarot for you. So let's see what messages fall on my hands for you. Well, that's 3 cards already. Okay, let's see what it is so far. So first one was the Devil. Let's see. Focus. Yeah. The next one is the Alien. Then 4 of Pentacles. And the Hangman. You know what this seems like? You got in too deep with some stuff. Like, I don't know if you heard about specific meditations or things you could do to contact certain beings or just have maybe an out-of-body experience. But it kind of seems like you got yourself hung up. That's what it seems like. Are you feeling disoriented or not quite grounded? It's because it seems like part of you is stuck somewhere else. Yeah, upside down, like in the Stranger Things. Yeah. But it looks like yeah, it just sounds like you didn't go in with this Devil card. You were exposed, like you didn't have enough protection and whatever you were going to do. So you were forces that didn't, or things that didn't have your best interest in mind, caught you unguarded. And this also seems kind of like an out of body experience, just not feeling very grounded. That's the feelings I'm getting from these cards. But with this, it's like you kind of did it to yourself. Maybe intending to do another thing, maybe intending to do something cool. And yeah, maybe you read something, someone recommended something to you, and it looks like it's kind of like turned you inside out a bit. So that's interesting. Let's see if we have. Do I want these cards? No, I'm skipping to archetype. I got the archetype deck for you. What's going on here? What did Aries do? Whoa. Okay, one card fell out. Any others? The first card was the Destroyer. Ooh. You might have got too close to something you weren't supposed to get close to. The Vow. The Unseen. Are you like in Interstellar? The Pilgrim. The Bridge. The Eternal Child. Oh man. Okay, so this is gonna be an odd story, but bear with me. In the case of Interstellar, and I shouldn't be okay, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but I kind of barely know what I'm talking about. It's almost as if you pulled yourself out of a timeline. And I kept hearing like accelerated the timeline, accelerated your own timeline. And this was something you were supposed to do, but you're doing it too early. So you're not quite aligned. If you look at this bridge, you're not quite aligned. You see how they're not quite lined up? So whatever you did, you were supposed to be, it was supposed to be an even connection between you and these other timelines. But something pulled you there. And I guess something from your own ego, yeah, your own ego, convince you that you should do this earlier. It's like, yeah, trying to accelerate the timeline. Like, sorry, you see the storm underneath here. So trying to accelerate your own timeline. So what else? Yes. Okay. I knew there was going to be something to confirm this. Six of Cups. So basically, if you were told, like people say time is fluid, right? Um, and sometimes later in life, when we gain the ability, we can go back and heal things from the past and create a positive effect in the future, but not something that's like super tangible. This is not like time travel in movies. It's like it's healing something more on the soul level, on a spiritual level, rather than physical. It's like well, what it's not like is, say you broke your leg as a kid, and because of that you weren't able to join the basketball team, and because of that you weren't able to get a scholarship, so you had to go to community college or something, and because you went to community college you couldn't get this awesome job. So, in the movies, you go back in time and you prevent yourself from falling off the monkey bars and you don't break your leg, and you go back to the future, like in the movies, and suddenly, you're a lawyer because you did get that scholarship and you did go to the good school and this and that. So when you're doing this kind of like inner child healing work and you're kind of healing timelines, it's not going to be something physical, like a physical result like that. It's more like whatever feelings that you felt from being left out, the regrets of not having the future that you wanted, whatever shame was surrounding that situation. Maybe, you had to walk around in crutches for the entire summer instead of going to the pool with your friends, so you felt like a loser or whatever. Those are things you heal when you do this kind of childhood work. But the fact is, you have to understand first what actually needs to be healed, like in the past, when it comes to things like abuse or, extreme trauma versus like something like not getting into the college, like shame and things. Those are not things that are not things that you need to heal on the soul level. And that's what I mean by like the ego. It's like, oh, if I go back in time and try to do something about the fact that I ate too many rolls in high school, that was me. And, I would come back and I wouldn't have gained all that weight or something like that. Those are like ego things. Those are not soul things. It's one thing to be like, oh, I remember, when my uncle hit me or something like that. Something like very deeper traumas, abuse, and things that maybe affected you on a level you couldn't even realize. But to use those kind of abilities to heal ego in hopes of changing a present situation, it's not that you weren't supposed to, but you didn't go back for the right reasons. And because of that, it's like triggered something. You triggered something because you got too close, or it just like human beings are actually capable of a lot. And especially now with so much information out there, people can learn to do whatever. You don't have to be like super spiritual woo woo to astral project. You don't have to be like super balanced and all of your chakras in a row to do like witchcraft. You don't have to. All the energy is something that anybody can manipulate if they have the talent and ability. But when you do these things without being properly grounded and balanced and centered, that's when you start messing with stuff. I can't imagine that there's not some kind of mechanism in place to handle that. So it's like what I'm seeing here is the reason for being disoriented is because if you went back to try and fix something that was based on your ego versus like your actual like soul needing something, it's like you fix the wrong thing, and it's kind of putting you in this, I'm getting like, yeah, reliving the kind of the not so positive things of your childhood. It's like if you wanted to heal your low self-esteem as a kid, instead of healing it, you're just forcing yourself to relive it over and over again to the point where you can't even ground yourself in your current adult life and timeline. That's kind of what it feels like. So, what can be done to solve this? Because, I mean, it's not that this is not something that you're meant to do, but you're meant to do it to address your traumas. But if you have not healed enough to the point where you're strong enough to face those traumas or acknowledge those traumas, you're going to continually go back and keep healing the wrong thing. I just got deja vu. So let me see. Any help here from what Aries can do? I'm just going to split the deck. Got Two of Swords, Ace of Swords. So it's like you're going to have to recognize how you've been split, what parts of you are coming from that kind of wounded child, or not actually the wounded child, but just like the kind of I scraped my knee child, you know, and what's you in this adult world, and cut through it, like figure it out. I'm not saying like cut down your child, but you have to like sort out which one is which. Where's the split? And once you realize the truth of that, like eventually you'll just recognize it. And like, oh, this is coming from that. That's not me right now. This is not adult me. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about the boogeyman under the bed. I'm a grown adult and I have sage. Yeah. See anything else? Splitting this stuff. Underworld and threshold. Okay. All right. The underworld and the threshold. So maybe getting a bit too close to this, you got to step back. It's like, yeah, you got to step back. There might be some kind of fears surfacing that you don't understand. It's because you're too close. You're too close. You have to come back. So, which you're gonna have to think more about positive things, positive present things, like even the simplest things, like things that will ground you. Like, I'm gonna get my favorite cake at the store. I'm gonna go to my favorite restaurant. I'm gonna listen to my current favorite song. Like, I'm not talking something that came out 10 years ago. I'm talking about something that came out this month if possible. Um, Go walk in a park now. Um, Watch a recent movie. Like, do anything to kind of ground yourself in this present moment and bring yourself back. And, do some grown up shit, like drink your favorite beer or wine or whiskey or whatever. Just something to bring you back to this present moment and back away from whatever limbo that you're getting too close to. That's what they're saying to do. That was very interesting. But be more careful about whatever thing some rando on YouTube or Medium or wherever you're getting your information from are advising or telling you to do. You have to really evaluate this via your own intuition, your own gut on whether this is something you need to do. And anything you really learn the difference between, and this is also came up in Libras, like ego, shadow, soul, ego. What's like a wound to your ego and what's a wound to your shadow? Yeah, we can think like it's so traumatizing. Someone thought we were ugly in elementary school or we were fat in high school. But in reality, it's not that is traumatizing. It's, you know, basically whatever situation that we weren't feeling supported. Like if we went home and our parents still called us fat, or we our better looking sibling got more attention than us. Like it's that sort of thing that ends up being wounding to the soul. But then you have to dig even deeper and why my self worth, not feeling loved, etc. It's never just that surface thing. It's never just that surface thing. So, good luck with that Aries.